So we will now conclude the podcast with one final question, and it's a big question. So how will digital olfaction and the use of e-noses change our future? I think we kind of touched upon this throughout the interview, but definitely to pinpoint it is a nice ending.
Perhaps these type of devices could help people, no, to enhance the detection by using personal devices, no? And in the other hand, to detect, for example, compounds that we are not able to detect. It's like giving us a new sense, no, that we don't able, for example, to detect magnetism. And imagine that, for example, in our smartphone, we have a detector of the north and south, no? So in this way, this type of devices could help us in these two ways, giving us the opportunity to detect compounds that we cannot detect. We cannot detect the CO, for example, because it doesn't smell, but with these devices we can do it, or detect compounds in lower concentration that we can detect. Okay. And I'm sure that in the case of computer vision, perhaps the next generation of smartphones could include a small number of gas sensors. So it will be good for developers of software to do applications that could use this information for a lot of different applications, in the same way than when the smartphones had a camera. No? The main increase in the use of computer vision algorithms is when all of us has a camera in our smartphones. No? So perhaps in a near future, if the smartphones has gas sensor, the number of applications of digital function could increase a lot, and it will done that the sensors will improve. So it's like a circle of improvements in this field.
Yeah, well, I've learned a lot from you today. I think the topic is really interesting, and I don't have much knowledge about it, or I didn't have much knowledge about it. So to learn that digital olfaction or e-noses could help with safety, for example, standing in the place of a police officer or a dog and making situation or finding out situations or investigations without the use of or putting humans or animals in danger. That was very interesting. And then you also talked about quality check. So being able to use an e-nose to check the quality of our food, or also like stand in the form of an ethnologist. So to be able to not have to do a sensory panel, but to be able to use an e-nose in place of that. And then I think one of the most interesting components that we talked about today was in terms of health and medicine. So being able to have a device that could tell you if you might have a certain disease or detect it faster than going through lots of tests or to go to the doctor. I mean, of course, you would then go to the doctor, but to have this kind of early diagnosis is really interesting. And I think also would be a huge step in terms of insurance and faster healthcare. So I really hope to see something like this happen broadly in the near future. And it seems like people like you are making it happen faster. So I'm very happy about that.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So thank you for joining me today. And I will definitely follow your research or continue to follow your research. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this talk, and congratulations for the idea of this podcast.